It also doesn't help too that the guy is not, he's not taking any responsibility for this. Like, it's just, he's just placing it on her. Like, he has to understand that you too, bro, you're not communicating to her properly. Like, dude, Amouranth is broken, man. Like, she can't keep going, dude, you know. And I can't believe the dude doesn't recognize that. Like, you know, like, for somebody who's very pedantic with the sentence structure or like the meaning behind sentences, I just can't believe like he can't recognize what's going on. I can only imagine that she's probably like in a downward spiral, which, man, like, this, somebody needs to get this guy away from her immediately. Like, it's so unbelievable, it's peril that she gets away from this guy immediately. What person in the right state of mind is gonna listen to that sentence and not question if you're gonna kill their dogs or not? All right, so this video is probably very difficult. It's gonna be very difficult to make. I don't even want to make this video, honestly. This video is very, very difficult for me to make. But the only reason why I'm even gonna make it is because I spent so much time analyzing it, and I really didn't want to do all of that. And as you can tell, I'm a little bit like emotionally drained. I have a bit of anxiety just listening to this. So let's take a look at it.
Here's what happened. I'm gonna start from the beginning. I asked you why, if there's a reason, because you insinuated that. Why would we only do threesomes with guys? I think we should do them with guys.
Threesomes.
Oh my god!
I don't
See this right here, this right here is why I said that.
Okay, so I've been analyzing that part over and over, as well as other parts, but we're just gonna talk about a couple of parts here. So he says to her that why would we only do threesomes with guys, right? He says that question because he wants to make a point saying that she only listens to a certain part of the sentence and immediately takes that idea and just applies it to herself. So when he says, why would we only do threesomes with guys, she immediately took that and said, I don't want to have threesomes with guys. She took that idea and applied it to herself. And so he gets upset because she's not listening to his question. His question is, why would we do threesomes? Why would we only do threesomes with guys? Instead of responding the way she responded with that answer, the way she should have answered that question was, we don't even do threesomes with guys. And his point is that she doesn't listen to what he is saying, to the sentences that he is saying. Instead, she's just taking the idea from the sentence and just applying it to herself, which is why she says, I don't want to have threesomes with guys. So it seems to me like a big problem that they have is that she's not listening to what he's saying, and he's not communicating properly his ideas to her. And so hence he's yelling at her because she doesn't understand what he's saying. And that's a big problem, like definitely a big problem. Something I really highly suggest is that you guys need to separate immediately, because this is not going to end well at all. I could be wrong about that, and it could be very much abuse, but that's what it seems to me that it's going on. She's not listening to what he is saying, and he is not communicating to her properly. So
you weren't even listening, which is my point.
Yeah, you see. So, but again, like, I don't even blame Amouranth for this, because Amouranth is so like, she is so emotionally overwhelmed. Like, bro, like, she doesn't, her community hates on her a lot. Her community just sees her as an object. Her peers don't even respect her Twitch peers. She's also being yelled at, which doesn't help her the situation at all. Of course, bro, she's gonna see that and just be emotional about it. Like, I don't blame Amouranth for being like that. So it's gotten so bad. Just look at poor Amouranth, bro. Like, it's hard for me to see Amouranth like that, because I've kept up with her story for like 3 years already. And when I say her story, I'm not talking about like I go to her stream and watch her. No, like she'll go on podcasts and she'll talk about how like she's coming up or what she's doing, the business ventures that she's taking on. Like, dude, like Amouranth is a very intelligent woman, and like she gives me a lot of inspiration and ideas, you know. Now I don't look up to her, but like she's still very fun to listen to because she has a lot of great ideas when it comes to business, you know. But nonetheless, like, dude, she's just emotionally drained, and this is not helping the case at all. So let's continue.
If you're not listening well enough, then you're literally not.
It also doesn't help too that the guy he's not taking any responsibility for this. Like, it's just, he's just placing it on her. Like, he has to understand that you too, bro, you're not communicating to her properly. Like, the way you're communicating, like, if she didn't understand what you were saying because this seems like it's been building up for like years already. If like you recognized that years ago, why didn't you change the way you spoke to her? Because words matter, you know. And a lot of people, the way they interpret things are not the same. Some people will give a sentence to a person. Somebody will say something to a person, and then two people will probably interpret it differently, because the English language is just so unbelievably vague.
I see why. I didn't say if you don't shit 24 hours, I'm gonna kill your dogs. No, listen! I said, I'm gonna say a thing, you're gonna say a thing, and I bet you're not gonna hear mine at all.
And see, and you could tell that this is like a recurring topic that's just been happening in this relationship. I'm pretty sure that they've argued about the same thing, about how she doesn't listen. They've been arguing about that over and over again, that Amouranth just doesn't know like how to like communicate anymore. And I'm pretty sure that this is not the first time he's yelled at her, because here's the thing, bro, when you yell at people, they develop anxiety and definitely depression. And as you can see, like, dude, Amouranth is broken, man. Like, she can't keep going, dude, you know. And I can't believe the dude doesn't recognize that. Like, you know, like for somebody who's very pedantic with the sentence structure or like the meaning behind sentences, I just can't believe like he can't recognize what's going on, you know. Like, it's unbelievable.
And to prove the point, I said something terrible. To prove that when something is very, very important to you, you literally don't hear anything else. That was the whole point. And now that you're trying to play the victim, I'm pissed even more because you're now lying.
And one thing too, like, so again, like when there's like a person who's just yelling at a person over and over again, not only does the person who's being yelled at develop anxiety and depression, and especially when it comes to a woman, who knows what kind of thoughts that Amouranth is having, you know. Like, for all we know, she's probably most likely blaming herself, because this tends to be like a trait that women seem to do a lot. Like, they tend to internalize this kind of stuff into themselves, and they blame themselves for a lot of things, which is why you hear a lot of times that girls cut themselves because of stuff like this. And I can only imagine that she's probably like in a downward spiral, which, man, like this, somebody needs to get this guy away from her immediately. Like, it's so unbelievable. It's peril that she gets away from this guy immediately. And as for the guy, he probably most likely, because he's been yelling at her all these years. Well, not all these years, but like, I'm pretty sure this started like probably 3 or 4 years. Like, it started lightly and then it just started becoming into this big massive deal. And ever since then, he's probably most likely practiced the emotion of anger so much that now he has anger issues for sure, because now he yells at her and it doesn't really seem like he can even control it anymore. And I'm pretty sure that that's probably most likely affecting his everyday life. He's probably yelling at other people who piss him off as well, because this is like, I just cannot imagine that he's not doing that. Like, he has to be yelling at somebody else in his waking life, you know. So I don't know, man, but definitely gotta get away from that guy for sure.
Didn't even
all of that language, like just again blaming her, it's doing so much damage to her, like a lot of damage to her. And yeah, like he's so angry he can't even see that like he's damaging his own wife. You know, like it's crazy, man. Like relationship like this is unbelievably dangerous for both the man and woman, you know, because she could develop anxiety and depression. We've already covered that. And then like he could continue to develop anger over and over again. And who knows, if he develops so much anger with her, he could potentially do something extraordinarily horrendous to her physically. And that's why it's absolutely important that they get him and her away from each other.
You're literally lying to me. I said this. I said this. Stop. I said, you're going to tell me what you said? Then I'm going to tell you what I said. And if you lie or interrupt my part, I'm going to kill your dogs. That's exactly what I said. And I said that because I knew when I say that, instantly you don't remember, you forget what you said and what I said. Both.
Why do you have to say you're gonna kill my dog? What does that help anything?
Because, stop. Zoom out. Because you weren't understanding my point.
Okay, I absolutely agree with Amouranth here. You don't have to bring up that you're gonna kill her dogs, dude. Like, what person in the right state of mind is gonna listen to that sentence and not question if you're gonna kill their dogs or not? Like, if you propose a question to me like that, forget every other word in that sentence. I'm only gonna focus on the part that, you know, you said that you were gonna kill my dog. I'm only gonna take that and be like, wait, hang on a second, bro. Did you just say that you're gonna kill my dogs? Of course she's gonna question that. Why wouldn't she question that? You're gonna kill my dogs? Because of the way that that sentence is extremely charged. Of course she's gonna question it.
Which is this. When there's something that emotionally triggers you, you actually don't remember anything else. And that's my whole point.
Yeah, but again, bro, it's because of what you're saying. Like, again, you're talking about killing her dogs. She has like, if you know anything about Amouranth, Amouranth wants to open up an animal sanctuary because she loves dogs so much. Imagine, bro, you're gonna say something like, I'm gonna kill your dogs. Of course she's gonna have an emotional connection to that. Of course she's just gonna cherry pick that specific idea from the sentence and talk about it and raise concerns about it. You know, like I know what this guy is trying to say, that she doesn't listen to what he's saying, but bro, it's because of what you're saying that she can't listen, because it's gonna rile her up emotionally. You cannot blame Amouranth for feeling the way she's feeling.
You were emotionally triggered. You weren't actually listening to me.
Again, you're like that when you're saying that stuff, again, you're placing blame on her and it's making her feel a certain way. Bro, like, this is supposed to be your wife. You're weakening her to a high degree when you place blame on her like that. You know, like, Amouranth is a very intelligent, strong person. Like, I don't know how strong she is, because this seems to me like she enjoys her job, but like sometimes, I remember in one of the interviews how she talked about how like a lot of the stuff has made her numb, which to me, when somebody says that a lot of like aspects in life have made her numb, it almost feels as if like she's developing some sort of like future depression. Like, she's kind of slowly heading towards that direction. When somebody says I feel numb, it's usually that's never associated with like a good theme, you know? So I was already like, I remember hearing that, I think in the Vice interview, that thing that came out like 3 or 4 months ago. I remember when I heard that, I was like, that kind of raised some concerns to me. I was like, bro, like, you know, like, she's feeling numb. That does not sound like a good thing at all.
But then you try to come back and use that as my fault for not saying it. But I did say it. You just don't remember. Here's the crazy part. I had already forgiven you for not remembering. But then you said, no, you didn't say it. You're being crazy. That's what you did. Listen, it's okay to be emotionally frail. It's okay. It would be even better if you just accepted and admitted it instead of being so defensive about it.
You can't admit something that she doesn't understand. Her way of communicating is not the way you communicate, bro. Like, you guys have different ways of communicating, you know? So it's, you can't expect her to pull all the weight. You have to meet her halfway too, dude. You can't just be like having her do everything. I mean, she already has so much on her plate. I don't know if you guys know this, but did you know that like Amouranth streams almost 400 hours per month? You know how many hours are in a month? I think there's about 730 hours in a month. 400 hours, close to 400 hours. It's already a lot of time that she dedicates to her craft. I've heard from her interns, and you can go watch the Vice News interview. You can watch it there. She's like, even the assistants, they talk about how like they come in early in the morning. I think this is what they said. They come in early in the morning. Amouranth is already streaming. By the time they leave, about an hour or two later, when they're about to like sleep or whatever the case is, she's still streaming. Dude, she is super dedicated to her craft, like absolutely dedicated to her craft. And I know that in the later VOD, the guy talks about how he wants he wants to take like what, like like he wants to take almost everything and then just leave her with $1 million. Bro, no. You can't do that. She's literally the face of that, and not only is she the face, but she puts in so much work. No way you deserve more than $1 million. No way that you deserve more than even half of that. Probably even quarter, maybe even less than that. Because honestly, like when I've seen the interviews, when I've seen everything, I've never heard you before. I've never heard of you like helping out in any way. But here's a crazy thing. Another thing that I question is, since she's done all of these interviews, later on in the VOD, in this same VOD, she talks about how there was a lot of things that she didn't want to do, and she only did them just because they were trendy. Like the hot tub idea, that wasn't her idea. She just kind of like took it from somebody else, at least according to the interview in the Anthony Padilla interview, that she saw that there was this woman who ended up doing this hot tub inside the house, and so she started doing it, and then she says that she went from 10,000 all the way to 30,000. But now in the VOD, she says that she didn't even want to do that. Like her husband was the one that was saying stuff like, you know, like let's hop on that trend, which again, like I don't even know like what's going on anymore. Like I don't even know if the interviews are real ever since this came out, because I'm questioning like, bro, what's real then? Like, has this all been just like some some convoluted plan or something? Because now I'm super confused, you know? So I don't want to keep watching this video, bro, because it's really hard for me to watch it, you know? Also gives me a lot of anxiety just watching the guy yell often to the poor woman, and then to see Amouranth like this, bro. Like when I watch Amouranth in those interviews, she was like, especially in the Anthony Padilla one, she was having so much fun. At least it looked like to me. She was having so much fun. She even goes on about how she used to be very bubbly back in the day. At least not in that interview. I think in the Vice interview, how she used to be very bubbly back in the day, and now she's just very stoic about life. And again, that's just another sign of depression. At least to me, that's a sign of potential depression. So it's very worrying to know that Amouranth is going through that, and this relationship with her husband is definitely not helping the cause at all. So my suggestion is find something. I don't know. It's not easy to just tell a person to get away, because dude, like I couldn't even get away from like my abusive relationship. I haven't given it thought, to be honest, to really understand like why I didn't leave that relationship. I just know that it was difficult. Like the person had to leave me. So then like when the person left me, I didn't even care. I didn't even run back. I said, fuck this, I'm out, you know? But nonetheless, it's very difficult to get out of a relationship like that, dude. And like I think one of the biggest things for her is that she's gonna have to start over, find a guy that she can trust. Which, by the way, if you've seen any of her interviews, she doesn't exactly have a lot of friends either. She doesn't have a lot of people that she trusts either. She's very, very lonely, dude. And man, it sucks. Being very lonely and being very emotional is very, very difficult, man. You don't have a friend group that can just support you, you know, and it's tough. As you can see, this video is very tough. I don't really like talking about this kind of stuff because it's very hard. But nonetheless, yeah, that's it.